Hello, my name is Sindri. I am an artist and a comedian.
I also go by Sparkle because it's what my name means, and it also makes me sound like a stripper.
I'm actually studying graphic design right now and doing my BA thesis on something called vexillology.
Do we know what vexillology is? Anyone? Next, it's the study of flags. And I like to mix that together with another field called next, queer theory. Anyone know what queer theory is? It's the study of fags.
So welcome to this very impromptu video on queer flags and why we use them. We're actually right now on one of Reykjavik's most famous landmarks. It's called the Rainbow Road. It's here in the center of Reykjavik, Iceland. But why do we use rainbows for queer people? Before we had pride flags, you basically didn't have a reason to show yourself out to the world because it was very illegal. The only real symbols we had were stuff like the green carnation, which Oscar Wilde made popular, which you could show your friends who you were, but not other people. And then, of course, you have the pink triangle, which was the symbol that Nazis used when they tried to exterminate us. Then it wasn't until 1978 that Gilbert Baker, commissioned by his friend Harvey Milk, the first openly elected queer politician in the US, Gilbert Baker designed the first rainbow flag. 4 months after the rainbow flag was revealed, Harvey Milk was assassinated by a co-worker of his who was a conservative politician. It shook the entire queer community, and the flag ended up going everywhere, all over the world, and became very popular as a sign for queer people of resistance and community. But we have a lot more flags now than just the rainbow. Why is that? In 1989, the BDSM community, then called the leather community, ended up making their own flag because they did not feel represented. They ended up inspiring the bear community, who made their own flag. In 1999, you had the polyamorous people who made their own poly flag.
I fucking hate this flag. This bitch. She's first of all, the colors are awful. Just fully saturated blue, fully saturated red. I hate it. But then there's the pi symbol. And I've always been confused about it. And I asked some friends and they said, oh, it's because pi is infinite. Just like our love. Pi isn't infinite. Pi is very specifically not infinite. If we were using pi as a measurement, that would mean we'd be allowed to date 3 people and a little more.
Also in 1999, you had the bisexual flag, followed by the trans flag. In 2000, and we had a bunch of flags happening all at the same time. There were 2 outliers though, both designed by the same guy.
This is the original lesbian flag. It's supposed to represent the fact that lesbians are all really big and really scary, and it was designed by a gay man who was terrified of lesbians. The last flag I want to show you is the flag for drag queens. I technically am one, and I want whoever designed this to go to jail. Next. It looks like RuPaul and Hitler had a baby. And none of these even hit the corners.
After all those flags came out pretty close to each other, there was a 10-year drought where basically none of the flags that were designed are still in use. It was not until around 2007, when Tumblr was formed, that we got a lot more. There was a movement of young people that later got kind of the name Mogai, marginalized orientations, gender alignments, or other, that nobody really knows about other than just the people who were there. And they were mostly kids. They did not have access to the bars, to the actual organizing that the queer community had before. And so they ended up making a bunch of flags, and I mean a bunch, like a lot. I have 15 gigabytes on a hard drive that has 14,000 flags. It's a lot. And they were basically trying to find themselves by making up new terms, but always, every single one had flags. Every gender, every sexuality, every pronouns, they all had flags. A lot of the Mulgai flags are still in use. It seems like we kind of got it. We got most of the flags. The only real flag that is pretty recent is the new lesbian flag, which was the new gay flag. But mostly what we've been changing in the last few years has been the rainbow itself.
The Philly Pride flag. The Philly Pride flag represents that black and brown people have their own struggles within the queer community, and we stand with them. Then we have the Progress Pride flag, which has the trans flag, which represents that trans people have their own struggle, and we stand with them. And then we have the intersex flag added to that, and which represents that intersex people have their own struggle, and we stand with them. I feel like we got a pretty good flag, right? It's like, it's there, it's all there, it's good. Some people don't think it's enough. I found this one online. You know you're looking at quality graphic design when there's Comic Sans at the top. But my favorite detail about this is the gradient that they added to the black and brown, which brings it all the way to white people. So this represents everyone who has skin.
So why do we even care about flags? Like, we've already gotten pretty far, and doesn't it feel a little bit nationalistic? Well, we're on the Rainbow Road in Reykjavik. Reykjavik is one of the safest cities for queer people, and this flag is a symbol of the safety that the city wants to show us. But this year is the first time Iceland has really had to deal with hate crimes in the past decade, and it's almost always directed at flags.
They keep cutting down rainbow flags in front of gas stations. And I want to know what guy this is that keeps going like, oh no, they're besmirching the good name of Shell Oil.
And this here flag got vandalized. Someone wrote on it. And you can still see the tire tracks of the car right here. As long as they don't feel safe attacking us, they will attack our symbols. Symbols are a really powerful way to control the narrative around us and show who we want to be and where we're going, the progress. And as long as we don't allow others to control our symbols, we're a lot safer. It's a pretty good flag.